Round 2 is over, and there are some interesting thoughts right from the get-go. The crowd notes that Mashiba pulled his chopping right short at the end. If you saw my last video on the fight, you'll remember that he stopped exactly when the bell rang. Itagaki mentions this as well. Aoki puts it into perspective by saying that Mashiba would have never cared about something like that before. It's true. To show how true it is, we see two of the best fights Mashiba ever had, Kimura and Sawamura. Those two know exactly how much Mashiba changed for the better. He's not just a fighter, he's a boxer. The title of the chapter is Mashiba Chant. Just a heads up, the chapter is very short, only 7 pages, but there is a reason for that which I'll explain later at the end. Let's get into the action. We see a beautiful and crisp panel of the crowd going crazy with their fists in the air. In between those fists sits a sweating Rosario surrounded by his corner. Mashiba's boss notes that Mashiba made eye contact with Ippo just now and asked him what he signaled. My man is as conspiratorial as Hajime no Ippo fans. Ippo says that he just gave a thumbs up and that there's no way her big brother would be paying attention to him. The translation notes kindly point to the two meanings of Onisan. Ippo basically called him a demon. Now everybody asks Ippo how the fight looks from a pro's perspective. Him hesitating to answer makes the whole Mashiba fan group nervous. It's still early. After all, it was only the second round. Yes, it's true. So much happened already in those 2 rounds, and we've been reading week after week. It already feels like a whole fight. Can you imagine what those two will pull out of the bag? Mashiba can't get complacent. The whole Mashiba section chants his name. It's round 3, and the crowd is going crazier than ever while Mashiba is already on the move towards the ring center. Man, I love those perspectives from within the crowd. Sendo and Miyata realize something. What is Rosario doing? He's doing nothing. He hasn't even left his corner. He's standing there without moving at all. Is the fight already over, or is Rosario planning something? There is something you might have missed before. Let's go back to the big panel. Can you spot what I'm seeing? Look at what Rosario's coach is holding in his hands. The object isn't visible, but he's clearly holding something. It's too small for a water bottle. When you look at Mashiba's corner, there is no indication of anything similar. They're just giving him instructions for the next round. This leads me to believe that it's Vaseline. Just like that time when Kamogawa gave Takamura his trademark look back during the Hawk fight. The size of the container back then is a little larger though, but the shape could fit. So, since Rosario doesn't have any cuts, they're probably trying to prepare him for a round with a high pace. Rosario will definitely go all in. He'll need minimum friction on his face when he's in the pocket. That's the only thing that makes sense for now. Let me know in the comments if you have any ideas. When I was looking through the Hawk fight, there was a little story at the end of Morikawa as a second for his boxers. He mentioned that he was a rookie second and forgot to put the chair out. That's exactly what we saw more than 2 decades later in real life when Ippo was the second for Wally against Ricardo. This shows that Morikawa is really immersed in Hajime no Ippo. It's literally his life. And now for the possible reason why the chapter was short this week. Morikawa had been regularly going to the Tokyo Metropolitan Government Building because he's currently advocating against books being branded as unhealthy. I don't know every single detail, but I think it's an honorable task. There should be no limits to the access and expression of literature and arts. Thanks to people like him, there seems to be some progress in that regard in Japan, so that's good to hear. I hope you enjoyed the video, hit the subscribe button and I'll see you in the next one.